64 witnessing incidences of hate against Hindus witnessed on the streets. Now, like the Western media outlets, the head of Bangladesh government seems to be in complete denial, even as massive protests are being planned by Hindu groups in Bangladesh following reports that a Bengali Hindu boy, Utsab Mondal, who only stood up to certain Islamist elements on social media who are brazenly abusing the Hindu faith, was brutally beaten while in custody of the army and police there, over claims that he actually insulted Islam. Mandal was reportedly taken to a police station where a mob surrounded the facility demanding his release. Then the situation escalated when the mob seized Mandal, and as he was being removed from the station, the current status remains unclear, with many believe that he is dead, but the official authorities saying that he is still alive and his life and he is being attended to. The visuals are very disturbing, ladies and gentlemen. Bangladesh Army's Inter-Services Public Relations or ISPR wing has stated that Mandal is alive but in critical condition. So they are still trying to deny his death just because they know that situation could really fall out of hand. Bikram Banerjee, activist, will be joining us. He's working for the Bangli Hindu in the United Kingdom. Dr. Ankita Datta stays on with us and Maruf Raza stays on with us. Maruf, मैं आपसे start करता हूँ. What do you think, sir? What's happening in Bangladesh? Is this all political?
Anand, in such anarchical situations, you will find people throwing up all sorts of parochial anger at whoever they can lay their hands on. Please understand, again, the blame must lie with New Delhi. That when Bangladesh became free of Pakistani rule, Indian military officers like General Jacob, who's written in his biography, had said very clearly to the Indian bureaucracy and intelligence agencies that was in Bangladesh the moment the liberation of Bangladesh took place, to say that the minority community in Bangladesh, particularly it was then East Pakistan, particularly Hindus, must be provided very clear directives of protection. We were complicit, we were arrogant, and we said, oh, don't worry about it. That's a job not for the military, that's a job for the bureaucracy. Every time the bureaucracy steps in to take all the credit, and when things get messed up, they start looking for who to make a scapegoat. So there was that problem that we never built in safeguards for the minorities then. Secondly, even when the situation was spiraling out of control, when Sheikh Hasina fled the country, India had every reason to offer that it will provide a security force to protect the minorities if Bangladesh is not so competent. And it's understandable that A, Bangladesh doesn't have a great track record of dealing with internal uprisings. B, Bangladesh's military and others were too busy trying to douse the fire that was all over the country and not look at the interests of the minorities, which is not so much their kith and kin, which is our kith and kin. Right. And we should have put our foot down and said, we are sending in a force as a peace enforcement force, like we did in the case of Sri Lanka, and not a peacekeeping force. Peacekeeping force comes with a UN mandate, which is a long, drawn-out, boring process. A peace enforcement force, and Indians are pretty clued up on that. We've been providing peace-related operations across Africa, across Sri Lanka, everywhere. And in no time, we would have stabilized the situation, handed it over to Bangladeshi security forces and moved away. We have no intention of occupying territory. We are a status quo-ist country. That means we respect the status quo and we don't want to take over territories and make as it is, India is so huge, it's sometimes pretty unmanageable. So it's better that we stabilize the situation. But what is important for us is our neighborhood should be quiet, stable, and well controlled. And if Bangladesh's security forces can't do it, then we've got our forces.
Well, it's not about can't do it, it's about they don't want to do it. Now there is a difference there. Inability and deliberate inaction is a serious problem, Maruf. We got Bikram Banerjee here. Bikram, there are a lot of claims that the ISPR says that he's still alive. But there are others which say that he was already dead long back, but they're deliberately trying to, so that the situation doesn't escalate on ground. What is it that you get to understand? There's a whole chain of events which show that it was actually an instigation and an abuse that this boy was standing up to.
Absolutely. This is the news they're spreading so that they can manage the international media and who are their allies as well in some shape and form. I was speaking to a few volunteers in Bangladesh just before this call, trying to understand, is that news that the boy is still alive is actually established fact? And what they're saying, the way the mob, the Islamist mob mishandled and attacked the boy, it's very, very unlikely. And no local media or anybody or even family has any clue. It's just the news has been spread that, okay, he's in the hospital, army hospital, and alive. So it's like we have seen some of the movie that for money or something, they keep it in the life support system, the dead bodies for long period of time, and then declare dead. I think, to manage the narrative, they are trying to do that. I hope the news which came out, the boy is still alive, is true. But it is unlikely, it seems to be from the
But what about those videos purportedly of the attackers claiming the fact that they have done away with somebody who tried to attack their religion or say something about their faith and claiming that they have avenged it? Are those videos true? Have those people who actually lynched this boy, have they been arrested by the cops?
No, there are videos. And the video does not tell, and those videos are not doctored video, because if we use the common intelligence, you clearly understand whether it is doctored, etc. And there is several sources of these videos coming from different angle and telling the truth. So the police were there, in army personnel were present in front of them. They picked up the boy Utsav, and they initially said that, okay, we are going to not kill, but we are going to disrespect, put sort of color his face, etc. And then they manhandled. They took the dead body and they did a procession and celebrated. That is the fact. How fanatic they are. So the Bangladesh is going completely in the direction of Pakistan or Talibani direction, and the civil society. The moderate people, they are quiet. I think there was another news. I don't know whether we picked up. There was she's Muslim journalist who was actually actively working and spreading what is happening with the minorities. Found dead.
She's found dead.
Very recent. Yeah, found dead. I have those details. I think we are accumulating those data. He was found dead. I would try to find out, and probably next.
So you're saying a Muslim journalist woman, a lady who was actually highlighting the atrocities being committed against minorities in Bangladesh, has now been found dead. Now situation going from bad to worse in Bangladesh on ground, but Mohammed Yunus believes all is well. This is all just political, nothing so serious. Bharat needs to figure out, not everybody outside of Sheikh Hasina is Islamist in Bangladesh. Dr. Ankita Datta, your thoughts?
Yeah, see, when we are talking about Bangladesh, we need to understand the Myanmar angle here. The civil war and the violence in Myanmar on the one hand, and a politically unstable Bangladesh on the other hand, which poses serious challenges for India, because India's interests are now being hit on every front. In the Chin state of Myanmar, bordering Mizoram, resistance forces in the Chin state are known to have been indulging in drug trafficking to fund their movement to fight against the military junta, while also receiving funds from foreign countries. And it was after the collapse of civil administration in Myanmar following the military coup in February 2021, and Myanmar military's presence in the Chin state and Sagaing region, which became lax over a period of time. There are many evidences of how drug trafficking from the infamous Golden Triangle to the different states of the northeast and the rest of the country suddenly saw a huge upsurge. Also, the China-backed insurgent groups of Myanmar, like the Arakan army and also those of the Chin Cookies, they have attacked Indian investments in the country since the beginning of the military coup in Myanmar. And aided by foreign powers, the Burmese insurgents are now threatening our Kaladan project. So see, we should understand this India's trade and commercial route on the west is already being blocked by Pakistan. Now, when we are talking about a separate Christian nation carving off this Kuki land, Zomi land, Zo land, whatever they call it, from Manipur, it will see the church establishing absolute control over this strategic location, and which will help them contain India in expanding its trade and commercial ties towards the ASEAN countries. It would act as a kind of, I would say, second Pakistan in our eastern frontiers, not only taking away it will take away the crucial warm water port of Chattogram from Bangladesh, but it will also completely block off India's access to Southeast Asia.
Right.
Most importantly, it would allow the West to have a crown colony in this geostrategically sensitive northeastern region, from where they can monitor the activities of both India and China. So Christianization of this region and missionary activities are going on in full swing since a long time.
Right.
So it is our sincere hope that the government of India would certainly not go down to international and internal pressures.
Right. I have to wind up this conversation, but it's just unfolding. There are many layers to this, and somewhere they all seem to be connected. There's activity in this entire area suddenly spurging simultaneously. Bangladesh active, Myanmar active, Manipur active, and there is some link between all of this. Makes for very interesting times ahead, but more importantly, strategically critical times ahead for Bharat, not just with respect to security, national security, internal security, but with respect to our dreams, our vision to grow and becoming an economic powerhouse. And somewhere core of it is all economics. That's what it comes down to. Thank you very much to Ankita Datta, Bikram Banerjee, and also Maruf Raza. Thank you very much. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, how Swachh Bharat has helped avert 60,000 plus infant deaths every year. The entire story explained here on The Right Stand.
ने जन्म लिया, हमारी प्रतिभावान जो हमारी देश की जो खेल के स्तर पर जो ऊंचा बढ़ाने का काम किया, आज वो हमारी पार्टी में शामिल हो रही हैं। अभी वो खेल के अखाड़े में